Hi, everyone. I am Professor Paulo Campanha from Brazil. I'm a lawyer also, and I'm a master and PhD in law, and also my post-PhD in Mediterranean International Center for Human Rights Research in Reggio Calabria, Italy. And in my post-PhD was in New Technology and Law. I'm the coordinator of the master's degree of the Federal University Center of District Center from Brasilia, Brazil, and also the coordinator of the undergraduate in law. It's a great honor for me to stay now with the IIU. That IIU, it's an international internship university. It is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovation programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to provide better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries in 6 continents, under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit Sir, a committed and inspired social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, provides education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. And for me, it's a great honor to stay here to share some thoughts about Brazil and ESG, environmental, social, and governance. And this is my presentation. Now, Brazil, it's that if you don't know, first of all, I would like to introduce Brazil. For the people that don't know Brazil, Brazil is a continental country. We have now 26 states and a federal district in the center of the country, and have a local authorities that we call municipalities, that we have 5,570 municipalities in all the country. We may fit almost all Europe in Brazil, like in this you may see the dimension of the country, north, south, and west, and east, west, and it's a challenge for all the government since our discovery in 15th centuries. We have 6 biomes: Amazon, Caatinga, Cerrado, Pampa, Atlantic Forest, and Pantanal. And we have a lot of challenge. We have the Amazon, the forest Amazon, that are always in the media around the world. And this is our challenge to establish in the environment, the protection of the environment, our social questions, and our economic development. I am in Brasilia. We may see on the left, on the top, is in the middle of our country, and the for above may see a photo that the power that they have, the executive, legislative, and judiciary power of the center of the country here. Brasilia has founded in 1960, and before now is the capital of Brazil. And in the beginning of our history, it was in Rio de Janeiro, that I will show a slide here. And we have almost more than 2 million people in the country, the middle of our country. We have Brazil more than 220 million people in all the country. In the slide on the right, you have on red is the southeast, that we have 4 states of our country. is the south and the southeast. We have the GDP almost 70% of the all GDP in Brazil. And in the red one, the southeast, we have more than 50% of our GDP. And our economic activity in the center of is the southeast region. We have two states in Rio de Janeiro. I live now in Brazil. That the slide that previous slides that I showed, but I was born in Rio de Janeiro, and we may see the right, the slide right, our natural beauties. And if you don't know, Rio de Janeiro we have the carnival in February, every year in February, and normally it's abroad the roads, the forecasting. And have, and if you don't know us, please come here. That Brazil, it's a welcome people to our foreign visitors. And above we have São Paulo. São Paulo is the more development state that we have in Brazil. Almost 1/3 of our GDP is in São Paulo. And the slide right on the right, you may see the buildings and the stature that we have here. We may call them the states. In these states is the most economic development state in Brazil. My institution is, like I said, in Brasília, capital of Brazil, Federal District University Center. We were the first private institution in Brasília, more than 50 years. Our anniversary last year, and the law school is also one of the first in our institution. But let's go to the past. Brazil, the discovery of Brazil occurred in 15th century, and the Portugal was the country that discovered Brazil, and this is the beginning of our history like a country. And our independence occurred in 1808, 1808, when the king of Portugal came here in 1822 was the independence of our country. Like I showed in the previous slides, we have 6 biomes that we may see in this photo of the country that may show to everyone our talent to face this situation in our country. The beginning of our history was the monoculture agriculture based on slavery from Africa and a large land property. And in this monoculture, we have this more than 3 centuries along our history. And you have a website in voyage.org that showed that the more than 10 million people from Africa to slavery in all the parts of the world, more than the half came to Brazil, to show that in this situation, how was our intensive mono agriculture that you have on the slavery, based on slavery. And this is show that we called a big house, and around the big house where the senzals that the slaves lived in more than 3 centuries in our country. And like I said, in 1808, the King of Portugal, Don John, came 60, came from Brazil, and the beginning of our history like a country, because years later, 14 years later, in 1822, we became independent from our independence from Portugal. And we have a person that we call José Bonifácio, that is one of the person of the first moment of our history, that he was a person that in his discussions always defend to environment protection. And now in São Paulo, like I showed, a previous showed in my slide, we have a statue for him that showed us the importance of this man in our history to establish and to show us and to encourage the people from Brazilian people in that time in the 19th century, the importance to protection of the environment. We have a sixth constitution and one amendment that we may a group of time may say that we have eight constitution. The first one was in 1824, 2 years later from our independence moment in our country. And the last one was the Federal Constitution of 1988. And this is constitution, the last one, was very important for our country, because is the first constitution that established a specific chapter to treat the environment, and establish in this article 225 that a balanced environment is a right for everyone, and also establishing this chapter public power and community have a duty to defend and preserve it from not only the present generations, but also to the future generations. And we also have in this constitution, the last one, an article 170, general principles for the economic activity. It's in one of them is the environmental protection. And this constitution is the guide for every activity that you have, including the activity economic. Which in this show, and this photo may show what we have from Atlantic forest, that one of biomes that show that you have almost 80% of the original, that when Portuguese people came in our discovery. And what we have about is since almost more than 500 of exploitation in our country. But in the world, you have in 1962, this book, classic one, Silent Spring, that from Haeckel Carson, that showed us her words about the DDT pesticide that show to the world what may happen, what may cause about the use of DDT. It's the first book that we had, and you have the in Roma Club argued the MIT a study of the growth limit, and you have the middles in the middle study that shows us what is the growth limit that we have. And show the consumption of the country by in every country that in the country more development, the impact of the environment, and you have also to show us about the population that we have in the country, and what about the GDP per capita in all this country. And in this study, in the growth limit, shown that as characteristics about population, pollution, and consumption of the natural resources, that if in that moment the people maintain all that schedule, that standard of consumption, the problem that the world will face. And this in 1983, we have in Norway, First Minister Go Allen, that called the people our common future, the book that shown us bring for us the sustainable development, that you have to focus your attention in three aspects: the environmental, the social questions, and the economic activity. And this me show in 1987, Ulrich Beck, that published a book, that A Risk Society, that shown us, that advertise us the problem of the risk has changed. In the past, we have the 20th centuries, a lot of we against them, and you have Jewish people, and you have the racial questions, and you have two world wars in the 20th century, and in this shown us in that moment that the population was divided one against other. But the development in the world shown us that this book, Risk Society, that the risk, it's not only to will active a specific people, the risk may active everybody. And we may show that what Ulrich Beck told in his book. We have in 1979, Harrisburg, 16 kilometers from Pennsylvania, a nuclear accident in that country, with a lot of people death and wandering. And also having in 1984, on the morning of the 3rd March, December of 1984, a Bhopal, IIU, the center of media, that a pesticide industry that we had in the more than 1,400,000 people that lived there, and we have almost 2,000 blind people after this accident, and more than 200,000 people worried about this accident. It is in 1984. In the population of this Bhopal is 1,400,000 people there, and 20,000 in this statue, among with a woman with his baby, and put the hand in her face to show the dramatic moment that the people of that region passed. We also in 19 86, Chernobyl, that all the world know about it, the nuclear accident that we have in that moment. And we have also in 2011 in Fukushima, Japan, a nuclear accident. What we may see in this accident, in this accident in this country, different country, 4 different countries, what to have that we didn't have a specific group of people that's activity about from the accident. Everybody around was victim about this accident. That shows us another moment about the risk that the world is living. Before that, I said, in the beginning of the last century was we have a war, a world war, a group of people against other. But this 4 accident that we had, it's proof for us that we don't have more specific. We live in other moment of a risk of society, like Uri Beck told us. In this moment, it's necessary for not only the public power that I said that have in our constitution, but everyone in the world is responsible for our protection environment that's necessary for our health, but not for our health, for the present and the future generations. And have also Amartya Sen, an Indian guy, that Nobel laureate, a book, an excellent book in development as freedom. And what we have? We have to protect the environment, but we need the economic development also. In development, in the economic development is like a freedom, because if you don't have the people of the country, a development, that you limit their capacity to growth and to establish in the society. We have also, in the beginning of the last century, Arthur Fisher Bentley, that also laureate, a Nobel laureate, that has a book, the process of government, in the beginning of the last century. And in his book, Arthur said for us that wealth, the main search of group division in society. Pressure is a group phenomenon. There is no group that includes everyone in society. Everything that exists in society is the result of conflict between groups. The outcome of pressure groups determines social policy. You have to protect the environment, you have to economic development, and have social questions. But like Arthur told for us, we don't have a group that everyone is inside. In the wealth, you divide the groups, and the conflict of them will establish, and the pressure of each group will establish our social policy. And if you have an organized group to defend that social questions, environmental questions, economic activity questions, the final result of this, the outcome of these groups, that determines the social policy. And what's the importance of this in all of the world? That we need to establish a collective group organized. We have also other Nobel laureates that had a book, The Logic of Collective Action, in the same line of Arthur Fisher Bentley, and said the importance that we have to work without the people that has the agenda power. And this will define what we have. Because when we have, where is that people? that people is in the executive power that establish the public policy, and also these people, we are in the legislative power that will establish the legislative proposal. Because when you have the president of the one of legislative power, you establish what will vote by the people, senators and others, and what we have them. When we may have in the legislative power a different group there, and the result, the outcome of these groups, also in the legislative power and the executive power, and we have public policy and legislative proposal, you have the outcome that have our social policy. And this is the importance to every group of them have to organize and to not to struggle, that's the strong word, but to claim about their needs from these people that has the agenda power. Schumpeter, an economist, a famous communist one, a representative democracy devised from the so-called public interest, because the action of pressure groups and politicians who act in accordance with their private ends. Of course, every group will activity with their specific agenda, and the pressure of this is sometimes maybe that each of one don't work about the collective needs, only the private ends that the Schumpeter told us. And we have in the millennium goals in 2000 that establish 80 goals of all the community. And we have in 2015 the 17 sustainable goals about our United Nations organization that established now. We had in the past 80 goals, and now we have 17. And this is the importance that almost all the countries of the world signed this convention to establish the 2030 agenda that will establish these goals for all the country. And this is in a specific, and the ones no poverty, and the second goals is zero hunger, and it also has like we may see in goals number 6, clean water and sanitation. We may see also in 8 goals decent work and economic growth. And this, or seja, it's not only the environment protection, but to have economic growth also important the economic growth in these goals in this convention. And you have in the 11 the sustainable cities and communities, that the importance of local government to establish a sustainable agenda in their country. And you also have in 13 climate action, and 15 life on land. No, you have other goals here that show the importance that other country, not only Brazil, we here only to show Brazil, but in this context. And you have in that moment a Brazil net that established now what we call ESG. ESG is a specific that the business, the market is looking forward, is looking for this to establish in their companies environmental, social, and governance advisory. And almost have a lot of aspects here. Inclusive entrepreneurs that we need in our market, a structure, a climate, the waste, the natural resource, the taxes, ethics, employees, and communities. And this all in the market now we have in Brazil a lot of aspects that show us the importance of this. And we have in our assets market a bond, title bonds that we are specific about sustainable bonds in the market. And nowadays the people may looking for them this market and look to the entrepreneurs that it's aligned with the sustainable development. It's important now. We have a lot of group of people of the market that establish a risk management in that you may you'll see that you may verify that if each one of these aspects of environmental, social, and government is really aligned with this market. And this is the big difference. And this is beginning since 20 years around the world, including Brazil. That not only the 17 development goals, but also the ESG in the market. What the market is doing for aligning to this development aspect. And in inclusive aspect on the left, we may see on the left inclusive aspect, not only the gender aspect that with woman and men, but also racial aspect of the people, black people, white people, you have to all of them including aspects in the market. And also we need the aspect of the ethics to guide all the market that to align to sustainable development. And it's only show that it's a newspaper from Brazil that's an economic one that to have a specific capture that sustainable business is. It's only to show how Brazil now is looking the sustainable business and show what they need to do to align the sustainable development goals, and include the ESG. And year by year, and almost I read this paper every day, Monday until Friday, and every day, almost every day, we had a specific publication about ESG, the importance that the sustainable business to align it to ESG. And we show the management evolution, and we have the market that showed us how the market is seen now. We may see in 80 years, 39% of the market is aligned to had a management evolution, a group that risk management, and now you have more than 17, but in 2020 we had 69%. That show that the market it's aligned with this aspect of ESG. Almost of them is now a risk management in their entrepreneurs. Bem, we like to thank you for this opportunity. This is my contact, and it was a great honor for me to show these few slides only to show the importance of the environmental, social, and governance, not only Brazil, for all the world, and what Brazil it's aligned for these goals, this sustainable development. And we show, if you don't know our country, you are invited to visit us. Thank you.